Well, protesting residents in Olievenhoutbosch, west of Pretoria, have closed down local roads with burning tyres. The situation is tense, with residents protesting over what they say is escalating crime and corruption. The protest action is organised by various structures, including local SACP, Sanco and ANC Youth League structures. They allege 2 ward councillors are selling RDP houses fraudulently and are known to the community. Residents will hand over a memorandum of grievances to Gauteng's Human Settlement MEC Paul Mashatile. More than 1,000 residents are up in arms over housing, crime, corruption and service delivery. All right, well, for more, we cross live to our reporter Griselda Lewis, who's in Olievenhoutbosch, where we believe that the memorandum has been handed over and that the crowds there are being addressed.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Natasha. Yes, that memorandum has just been handed over to the residents here at Olievenhoutbosch, and the MEC of Human Settlements, Deputy Director Goodwill Mashele, is here. He's accepted that memorandum, and one of the major issues that the residents say they're concerned with is crime in the area, as we've been reporting, corruption, as well as allegations that some of the RDP houses that were scheduled to be allocated to residents in this area were given to people who this community say they do not know of. Just part of the memorandum here, we see that the residents are wanting the ward councillor of the Ward 106, Cedric Katsela, to be recalled with immediate effect, alleging that he's involved in corrupt activities, basically saying that, you know, the use of local community projects that are meant for poverty alleviation are basically used to enrich himself. They also bring in a security company that he allegedly owns and says that he and his friends are operating that in local community projects. And basically they list quite a number of vehicles as well that they say were acquired through corrupt means as well. They also speak about a lack of accountability on corporate social responsibility from developers and contracts in the area, and also accusing that ward councillor of involvement in the selling of RDP houses. You see there the Deputy Director of in the office of the Human Settlements MEC Paul Mashatile meeting there with community leaders and basically signing off that memorandum. Now, what we do understand is that the MEC's office will respond to the community within 14 days, and an array of things, I guess. It remains to be seen at this point whether this will be enough to quell the protests that we've seen in this area since this morning. And I think one of the other issues that we've picked up in various other communities as well also seems to have crept in here at Olievenhoutbosch as well, where part of the memorandum also reads that illegal immigrants of all nationalities across the globe and that are also here in Olievenhoutbosch should be deported. And you know, there's been frustration from this community, them saying that there's police incompetence with the local police station, the crimes that they've reported, nothing has been done about some of the crimes that they've reported to the authorities. Now, what they're calling for is for the deployment of the tactical response team. They're saying that the police are not enough to deal with the situation in Olievenhoutbosch. So what certainly remains to be seen at this point, you must also remember that the permit that they received to march does lapse at 12:30. So the police have indicated that they will then ask the crowd to disperse after that permit to march lapses. And it also certainly remains to be seen whether shortly after this memorandum is signed, there will be enough to satisfy this community, this angry community, about concerns which they say have not been addressed for the longest time. We also saw the address there by the Deputy Director General within the MEC's office, that's the Human Settlements MEC Paul Mashatile, addressing the community there, promising to respond to their needs as well, apologizing that the MEC could not make it himself, but did indicate that their concerns will be addressed relating to corruption, the alleged selling of RDP houses, and their dissatisfaction with how the local police station has been handling some of their great concerns. That is still continuing.
Oh, we do apologize for that break in the feed there, but as Criselda was saying live from Olievenhoutbosch, it seems that the memorandum of agreement has been handed over. We saw it being dealt with there, and we're just waiting to see if they will disperse, if the crowds will disperse by 12:30, because their agreement for the meeting to break up has been for 12:30. Let's just see if we can get those visuals back. Criselda Lewis live from Olievenhoutbosch, just saying that has this meeting been enough? Has the address from officials been enough to satisfy people and their needs?
I did. I got that, yes. I got that, yes.
All right, Criselda, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but we're just waiting to see if this has been enough, if the address and the handing over of the memorandum has been enough to satisfy people, and if they will disperse by 12:30.
Well, Natasha, that certainly remains to be seen at this point. Yes, that memorandum of demands has been handed over. You see there the representative from the Office of the Human Settlements MEC in Gauteng, Paul Mashatile, that's Goodwill Mashele. He's come here to receive that memorandum, and quite a list of demands that the community is making, and are saying that I guess within 14 days, as per that promise by the department, if those demands are not met, they will then again take to the streets. But that permit, yes, there, Natasha, does expire at 12:30, and we've got assurance again from the authorities that if the crowd does not disperse at 12:30, then they will have no choice but to remove them from this area. Whether that will quell tension certainly remains to be seen, because I think this is about the largest crowd of, in the run-up to service delivery protest in recent months. This is about the largest crowd that we've seen here in Olievenhoutbosch. There are thousands of community members who have decided not to go to work and are saying that they want some of their demands to be addressed as soon as possible. But I think they're basically saying that making allegations that the ward councillor of Ward 106 is allegedly involved in corrupt activities, and they do mention as well another ward councillor of Ward 77. They also want him to be recalled with immediate effect for what they claim is money laundering, and saying that money was paid into his company account by a certain contractor that was subcontracted to do work in this area. Well, from where I'm standing, Natasha, just to give you a bit of an idea, there are a number of RDP houses that were completed here, and the residents are now alleging that those houses were given to people who had not applied in this area, who've been desperately waiting for houses for a number of years. Also just behind me, you're not able to see that at this point, but are houses that are not complete. They were supposed to be complete at about this time and then allocated to those who had applied for those RDP houses, but they're not complete apparently due to a lack of funds. So these residents now want to understand where the money has gone to complete those houses, because many are saying they're living in shacks around this area. They've been doing so for more than 20, 30 years, and are saying that it's about time somebody does something about this situation here. So I think their hopes are really now dependent on the MEC of Human Settlements, Paul Mashatile, as his representative is now here accepting this memorandum of demands, and they're hoping that this will be the last time that they are able to get officials to come here and not just receive a memorandum of demands, but actually that something is going to happen for this community here. We see now police are also just going to escort Goodwill Mashele, who is the Deputy Director in the MEC's office, and that certainly remains to be seen whether this particular community now will decide then to disperse at this point. But I think most crucial, also to mention, Natasha, we've really seen during this time, well, not just with this community, but with a number of communities as well, the fact that there are many concerns from communities like these about the manner in which police are able to handle some of their grievances. One of the major concerns of this community and many of the other protests that we've covered over the past recent weeks gives an indication that the local police are not able to deal with some of the concerns relating to crime that these communities do raise. We did manage to speak to the South African police spokesperson a bit earlier on this morning, and they did indicate that the Gauteng Police Commissioner is certainly taking these concerns very seriously. They will really be zooming in on a number of these police stations where these communities are alleging that police are not doing their jobs. Serious work needs to be done related, could you excuse me ma'am, serious work needs to be done relating to that, and how perhaps the Gauteng Police Commissioner would then need to zoom into these particular police stations and then deal with some of the concerns of these communities, because there clearly seems to be a disjuncture when it comes to how the police are doing their jobs in these particular communities and what exactly the community wants. In this particular area, for example, you've got the community that's saying at night they are not able to walk in the streets, they're being robbed. They're basically saying, according to them, that the local police station is being run like a spaza shop and that their concerns are not being addressed when it comes to crime. They're saying police are not able to efficiently handle that, and they want now the tactical response team to come into this area and deal with some of their concerns. Not too far from where I am, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, we've got quite a large group of community members right here behind me. It's going to be very difficult to try and get me away from here. I think let's just make some space. If the community can just give us some space. I'll give you just a glimpse of some of the houses that we are talking about here, and perhaps you'd have an idea of what some of the grievances of this particular community are. If we can see some of those houses just in that area over there, those are the houses that are incomplete, and the community is saying, or is asking the question, where the money has gone to complete those houses, because many people in this area have been desperately waiting for them to be complete, given now that there are further accusations that houses that are not far from the ones that you see have now been given to people who they say they don't know where they've come from. They are not on the list of those in this area which was scheduled to be given those RDP houses after waiting for so long. So we'll certainly monitor the situation from here at 12:30. That's when that permit does expire, and then the authorities are now saying they'll have no choice but then to remove the community from this particular area because that permit has now expired. We'll certainly bring you a whole lot more here, but police remain here in Olievenhoutbosch. The police presence is extremely strong. The roads remain strewn with some of the rocks and the burning tires that we saw a bit earlier on this morning, but very calm in comparison to what we saw a little bit earlier on. But police certainly on hand to deal with the situation.
Griselda, thanks so much for that. Griselda Lewis, live from Olievenhoutbosch, bringing us the latest from that service delivery protest.